Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Chatting in My Closet. Today's episode is actually a question out to you guys. Would you buy jewelry, like fine jewelry, from your favorite handbag company or brand? If you're tuning in for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I like to do these luxury fashion videos here on YouTube. I share hauls and reviews, but at the end of the day, I share my journey so we can all mindfully curate our own collections. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. Chatting in My Closet flourishes when all of you share your thoughts as well. I love to learn from you guys, so definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. For those of you who might not be familiar with my Chatting in My Closet series, it is an ongoing series on my channel. I pick a fashion related topic and I'll start off by sharing my candid and open opinions on that particular topic. And then I open up the floor to all of you to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. My only ask is that everybody keeps it respectful and open to hearing other people's perspectives. Because, we can always learn something that way. So today's topic on would you buy your fine jewelry from these fashion brands? Like for instance, Chanel has their fine jewelry line, Hermes also has a fine jewelry line, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they all have fine jewelry, and a lot of them also have high jewelry as well. High jewelry is like your super expensive pieces, On the flip side, there are also jewelry brands that make handbags now as well. Most notably, I can think of Cartier. There might be some others. But Cartier is the one that I know for sure has launched a handbag. And this Chatting in My Closet topic actually stems from a question that I got. Someone was asking if I would ever consider getting a handbag from one of these jewelry brands. And I never thought about that, but then I flipped the question on its head. I am a handbag lover, so are there handbag brands that I would buy their fine jewelry from? And if you're familiar with my collection, you would know the answer is yes. I do have one fine jewelry piece from Chanel, which is my Coco Crush Slim Ring. Oh, I just noticed that I didn't put my rings on today, so I was going to show it on my finger, but it's not on my finger. But I have one of those Coco Crush Slim Rings, and I also have a fine jewelry piece from Hermes, which is the new Farandole bracelet with a rose gold Chandon chain in there as well. The rest of the jewelry pieces that I have from these kinds of fashion brands are all costume jewelry. But I have purchased fine jewelry from both of those houses, both of those brands that I love, that I purchase handbags from. And it got me wondering why I didn't consider the alternative, why I didn't consider, let's say, getting the Cartier handbag. For me, I think it comes down to my brand affinity. And it's not that I don't have any affinity for Cartier. So I don't think Cartier made the handbags for the general handbag lover. I feel like Cartier decided to release handbags for the ultra Cartier lover, if that makes sense. The same thing with Chanel and Hermes with their fine jewelry lines. Like, I don't think they decided to create a fine jewelry line to then try and compete in the general fine jewelry market, if that makes sense. Or Hermes with their watches, for instance. Like, I don't think they created those necessarily thinking that they wanted to go out and target the entire potential market. But I think that it's actually targeting the ultra Chanel lover, the person who loves the brand, who can't get enough of the brand and wants to get more from that brand. Does that make sense? That's how I think about these. And I think that's why I found myself purchasing Chanel fine jewelry, purchasing Hermes fine jewelry. It makes sense because I love those two brands. I've also looked at Louis Vuitton fine jewelry before as well, have considered it, but I don't think personally, I don't think there's enough room for me to have a trio in my heart. It's pretty crowded with Chanel and Hermes for me. I don't think I'm that much of a Louis Vuitton lover where I absolutely love, I'm definitely much more of a Louis Vuitton lover than I was before, but I don't think I'm as much compared to Chanel and Hermes, for me personally. And when I think of Cartier, for me, it's more of like I would go for jewelry pieces. And I do have a watch. So it's like I like Cartier for those kinds of things. But when I think about handbags, it's like my affinity for handbag brands lies somewhere else. And that's why I haven't considered getting the Cartier handbag. But I feel like these kinds of categories exist. Like, okay, like Chanel and Hermes, I feel like are pretty similar. But like Chanel at least started out as a ready-to-wear brand, right? Like a women's wear brand. So it sort of, at least to me, makes sense that they would have fashion items and costume jewelry and extends out to fine jewelry and watches to a certain degree. I can see how like all of that extends out to encompass the brand. But then they also have like home, right? It's not like known as a home brand. Like why would they have home items? But like, so that's what I mean by like, it's not for everybody. It's not for someone who's like looking for something to decorate their home in. It's for the person who just absolutely loves Chanel and that cannot get enough, wants to get more. I feel the same way for Hermes. Like they also have, they started out making equestrian gear. So the leap into fashion and all of this stuff, I feel like it's a little bit more of a leap, let's say, than Chanel. Once you're sort of in the handbag market, I can see how you have, ready to wear that comes as a part of that. Shoes, of course, that come, some accessories that come with that. But then, they have their extensive homeware section. They also have their furniture, like the made-to-order furniture. They also have their tableware. So it's like, it can seem kind of interesting. You're like, how'd you get from like equestrian stuff to like plates, plates and cutlery? But I guess as these brands are also trying to become much more lifestyle brands, they're expanding the territories that they sort of play in. So even if they're not necessarily known for, or they didn't start in an area, they're not afraid to create some offerings in that space. And those are for more of the brand aficionados, right? And I think the other element, at least for me when it comes to Hermes, is I really only want to buy things that I like. But I do know, realistically, I need to be maintaining some sort of profile. I can't just buy absolutely nothing during the year and then show up and try to get a bag. Like, it just doesn't work that way. So I think that's why I started to, not why I started, I genuinely love the pieces that I have, but I think that's why I was more open to exploring some of the other categories, because I don't want to buy a whole ton of leather goods because I don't need all of those. I don't need to buy a whole ton of shoes. Hermes ready-to-wear in particular is not really my style. At least I haven't found a lot of pieces that I absolutely love. There are only so many silk pieces that I could buy. So it's like, it became like natural that I would venture out into some of these other categories and then also fine jewelry as a part of that. So that was like a natural progression for me, a gradual reason why I added fine jewelry piece from Hermes. But outside of that, like on its own, like if let's just say I'm in the market to get another jewelry piece, like I don't know if I'd necessarily think of those brands first. But I do like for me personally, I really like the Chanel Coco Crush line. So I do think I might want to get a standard Coco Crush next. The Hermes fine jewelry, I like their Shandong chain in general. So there are some pieces that I like. I don't love everything, honestly. Timepieces is another category at Hermes that I think is pretty strong. They have a lot of options, a lot of different styles. Of course, Chanel does as well, but I'm just not a huge fan of the ceramic watch pieces. They're a bit too chunky, too heavy for me. Aesthetically speaking, I like those. I find them pleasing, but like if I'm really in the watch market, I don't think I'm gonna jump to Hermes first. Like I would look at some other watch brands first before I jump at, getting a watch from Hermes. Net, would I buy fine jewelry from my handbag brands? Absolutely, because I have. I have already done that. But it is, I guess, sort of selective. Like, I've never been interested in Gucci's fine jewelry. I've looked at Louis Vuitton's fine jewelry, but I just found the price points to be a little too high for me personally. The piece that I happened to like was the LV Volt necklace and like solid white gold, which is gorgeous, but it's also like $7,000 or $8,000, and I'm like, I can't justify that. If I had that kind of money, I would put it towards my next Hermes bag. I don't think I would put it towards a Louis Vuitton necklace, right? So for me, that's where the arbitrary line is drawn. Like I said, for me, I think it's a lot more about how much do I absolutely love the brand. And as much as I like Louis Vuitton, I don't love it, you know? I have the least of it in my collection. So it's one of those like, how much of a fan are you of the brand? But what do you guys think? Would you never consider any of Chanel's fine jewelry or Hermes fine jewelry, even their watches? Like, are you just like, they are absolutely not known for that? Why would I even step foot anywhere near any of that stuff? Or are you open to it as well? Like, let me know in the comment section down below. Oh, Bulgari is another one, right? Bulgari, I feel like, to me at least, is a bit more of a jewelry brand than it is a handbag brand, but they have their, I think it's like a Serpenti bag line that they also create. I mean, we can also go into like Christian Louboutin, right? Known for shoes, the beautiful like heels, and they also ventured into the leather goods market with their handbags and small leather goods. So like a lot of brands are doing that, and I really think it's trying to capitalize on the brand loyalty, the brand affinity that people have for them to want to buy more, basically. I feel like it's just basically all driven by capitalism, but what isn't, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, whether you feel like it's something you would explore, you would never explore, you only like to go to the brands for like what they're known for, like you want to go to the top of the line for watches and top of the line for handbags and, you know, top of the line brand for clothing. Like, let me know what your philosophy is. As you can see, the sun is definitely setting. It was playing hide and seek with the sun, but it looks like the sun's now deciding to just set for the day. So I'm gonna wrap up this video here. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Chatting in My Closets. Like always, I will have a poll for you to vote on the next topic to discuss. And if you have any topic suggestions or any questions you would like me to explore, definitely leave those in the comments down below as well. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new fashion related videos every Sunday and Wednesday. So until next time,